Jesus fulfilled his ministry in the whole region of Galilee, including all the cities and villages. Jesus taught the Bible in the synagogues and preached the gospel of heaven in the streets, on hills, and by the seaside. Through his healing miracles, people could be certain that everything he taught and preached came from God. Jesus traveled to every place for teaching, preaching, and healing, and all this ministry was rooted in God's merciful character, showing his compassion for people. Many people followed Jesus wherever he traveled. Most of them were primarily interested in his healing miracles, but their spiritual condition was far more serious than what was shown outwardly. They were unable to perceive the true reality, trapped in sin, and they were completely worn out by the curse without any assistance. Despite their desperate state, they were unable to find any guidance as they wandered in darkness. The Lord had deep compassion for these neglected ones and empathized with their pain to the extent of experiencing it in his own body. They were like sheep without their shepherds. The teachers of the law and Pharisees should have become their shepherds, providing them with daily bread and something to drink, and binding up their wounds. However, these leaders failed to fulfill their duties. Instead, their action made people perceive God as wrathful, cold, and indifferent. In other words, not only did they fail to enter the gate of salvation themselves, but also prevented others from entering. As the Lord went through all the cities and villages, he witnessed such despairing reality. Therefore, he made a determination to raise up laborers who would reveal God's compassion. The Lord spoke to his disciples, saying, "The harvest truly is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Therefore, pray the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into his harvest." Upon hearing this, the disciples understood the Lord's compassion toward people, so they prayed for this request. However, the Lord did not bring workers from outside. Instead, the Lord called workers who had hearts aligned with his own among the disciples, who were praying for workers to be raised. This is true. Being a worker of the Lord is not someone else's affair. Anyone who has received the Lord's compassion can be used as a worker of God. Many people mistakenly believe that becoming a worker of God is unrelated to themselves. Consequently, they thoughtlessly criticize those who have become God's workers, and sometimes even attack them upon discovering their weaknesses. They hold the misconception that church workers should serve them, while they themselves expect to be served in the church because they are not workers. However, the truth is that there are no designated workers before God. Those who are grateful for the Lord's grace and obedient to him are the ones used as his workers. All ministries within the church come from God's compassion. Let us diligently fulfill the responsibilities entrusted to us under the guidance of pastors in the church, with a sense of urgency in our mission. Let us participate in God's nature that shows compassion towards sinners and desire for their salvation rather than their failing.